I mean, it's easy to read a study. It's easy to read an evidence-based article and read an abstract. But what can you do with that when you're face-to-face with somebody in the field and you have to change things on the fly? Like, are you a coach or are you basically a glorified wannabe college professor?
Welcome to Stronger You Radio with Mike Dola. Join Mike and friends as they discuss issues to keep you healthy, fit, and on track to create a stronger you. Let's listen in now.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us for another Stronger You Radio podcast. Today, I have a special guest and good friend of mine, Jay Ashman. Jay is probably one of the most experienced guys out there in the business, and he's been a huge friend of mine, almost like a big brother to me in the industry, showing us a lot of support, and I want to welcome Jay to the show. Jay, can you just give us a little intro?
Hey, what's up, Mike? How you doing? I'm Jay Ashman. Pretty simple. Live in Kansas City. I'm a strength coach and a trainer. I've known Mike before he had one client at Stronger You, so we kind of go way back. And now Mike is a borderline juggernaut in the industry. He's making us all look bad, but he's doing great work, so it's okay.
That's funny, man. Yeah, but today we're going to talk about something you and I see a lot on Facebook and social media in general. This whole evidence-based movement versus experience, and it's like the two worlds clashing together. Can you tell me a little bit about what your thoughts are on that?
Well, I don't think many people actually pit one against the other. I think some people have a tendency to discount experience for the sake of evidence-based. And what I mean by that is the ones who have experience, tend to realize that both work together very well. So the evidence actually verifies experience and might find out new things. However, kids who are kind of younger, maybe in their 20s, maybe even 30s, who just started out in the business or fresh cut, so to speak, they have a tendency to put a lot of weight on the evidence without the actual experience backing it up. I mean, it's easy to read a study. It's easy to read an evidence-based article and go on PubMed and read an abstract. But what can you do with that when you're face-to-face with somebody in the field and you have to change things on the fly? Like, are you a coach or are you basically a glorified wannabe college professor?
Right.
I mean, it's basically reading abstracts and arguing online doesn't make you a coach. And I respect both ends of it. However, I'm very, very biased towards those who have experience because actually being in a gym, working with people, having the years under your belt to have the experience to deal with all kinds of problems goes a long way. But I've always said this, and this may be an insult to some people, and if it is, I'm kind of sorry. I'm not really sorry. Exercise science is kind of like the bastard stepchild of science.
Right.
Somehow I think that people who are discovering cures for cancer and researching the heart are probably looking at a guy who's majoring in gym class saying, what the hell is this, a science? And it is a science, but it's kind of funny to me that the studies you see put out there are stuff that's been verified in the field. So it's more like someone saying, well, okay, exercise really is good for your health. That was a study I saw recently. And that was like a major no shit moment for me. Because, obviously studies like that are needed, but I can't comprehend actually having to have that now to verify that. But I understand why it's done. But to me, it just seemed kind of funny. Like, people are sharing over Facebook. People are talking about it. And I'm like, you guys already know this. So you're acting like this is new information. It's really not. It's just verifying what you already know. That's kind of how I look at evidence-based. You have to have both, but you can't put more weight on one than the other. But if you are going to, look towards the experience.
Yeah, and it's interesting because when I first started with nutrition, I used all the evidence-based stuff I had and accumulated over the years. And when I first started, I didn't have a single person that I could test this stuff on. I just had a bunch of evidence. So when I went to do it, I realized that half the stuff that I thought matters was just so far down the list of importance. And actually getting someone to do something that the research says doesn't always play out.
Well, what it comes down to is human beings aren't pieces of paper. And you can look at a formula for discovering macros, but as you well know, you could have two people the same age, same height, same weight, same body fat, everything. And one of them could need 4,000 calories to maintain, and one might only need half of that.
Right.
Exercise isn't quite as individualized as nutrition is, but it can be depending on the sports and the goals. But nutrition, although it's very general in scope, is really individualized. And that's the hard part, because evidence doesn't teach you that. It comes with experience.
Right.
And understanding each person is going to be different. And like the way each person can utilize carb, how they're sensitive to certain carb, how they like the compliance issues, all that kind of stuff. Psychology is probably the biggest thing that you've learned, and I've learned in this field, because research only goes so far about how the psychology of this is so much more complex and in depth. Getting someone to buy into the plan, getting them past breaking points, getting them past plateaus, keeping them, I'm going to say motivated, but keeping them dedicated enough to actually get to the goal without stopping.
Right. Like, let's get some studies on that stuff, because that's something we learn every day. Every single day we see something and we're like, wow, okay, let's try to do this instead. And
it's tough.
It's huge. And that was like when I first started, there was like people I was looking up to that were like criticizing me for getting into it because they thought I was just like a shithead. And
people that were your mentors, stuff like that you were looking up to, were asking me questions like, what do you think about Mike? Is he a cool dude? I'm like, yeah, Mike's a great guy. He knows his stuff. He genuinely wants to learn and improve in his business.
I could see it, because I know a lot of people and they ask me, they're like, how do I become a coach? How do I do this? I know everything. I studied for this long. And I said, honestly, the only roadblock is experience. I always feel bad because we get a lot of inquiries for jobs. And I do have to turn people down because we're fully staffed right now. And the real hang up is the experience. So they may have all the evidence they need and the knowledge, but without working with people, there's really nothing we can do at that point.
No, it's difficult to do. I mean, obviously people come to you because your company is, completely ass deep with clients. So people pretty much think that, all right, I'm going to go with stronger you. So I'm going to have this deluge of people and I'm going to make 6 figures. And I don't think they might do that, but knowing the way you run your company, you got to kind of earn that.
Yeah.
It isn't like you're just going to hand them like a platter full of people saying, go get it. It takes a little bit of time. And even as you know, it just took a lot of time for you just to build it up and do it the right way, create systems. And I think the experience part comes with that, because I think anybody can pretty much get a macro calculator and determine someone's macros. I mean, there's so many of them out there. I mean, I'll give people the stuff for free to do it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean they can actually do it themselves, because they have to figure out, all right, well, if I'm stuck, where do I go? Where do I adjust? Should I lower carbs? Should I lower fat? What could I do? I mean, I've been a system in place to actually keep them accountable. It's like, how do you do that? Are you good with customer service, or all that kind of stuff comes into play? The stuff that doesn't directly involve X's and O's are what makes and breaks a business.
It's so funny because that's what everyone thinks. Like, I'm just going to get certified and I'll be a coach. And there's 900 other things going on that I didn't even know I was getting into when we started this thing.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's crazy.
I'm an online coach and an in-person trainer.
Right.
I've valued in-person work, but the online work takes up a lot more of my time.
I honestly think the online stuff, what we're doing, it's the best job in the world. And I feel guilty about it sometimes because I'm like, wow, like, how come we get to do this stuff? Like, why us? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's kind of nice that way, but I think people underestimate the amount of actual work and time it takes to do that. Now, you were kind of a unique case where you started off and your business grew like wildfire, but you were able to maintain a good customer support ratio and maintain the result, so it benefited you because you weren't just some flash in the pan that came along and said, well, I'm getting great results, I'm going to blow up, I'm just going to do whatever I have to do. No, you maintain a level of service, and you're well known for that. I mean, of all the companies in the business, you are probably one of the best ones as far as customer service goes.
Yeah, that's our bread and butter.
Yeah, and that goes a long way to, maintaining clients, re-upping people, getting new ones. I mean, your community is like second to none. I mean, it's superb what you guys are doing, honestly. And it's hard to top that. And I don't think people really understand how much work that took to get there. Even though you may have grown faster than the average person, you still work just as hard to maintain that level of excellence.
Oh yeah, I don't, dude. I've said this on the podcast before, but I'm pretty much a lunatic. I don't say this to people, but when they ask, like, well, how did you guys grow? Like, do what we did. Like, I don't think you're ready to spend 15 hours on Facebook a day. Like, I'm on Facebook building connections and doing all that crazy stuff, and that stuff, like, just experience. That's my evidence right there. I don't know how to really explain it.
Yeah, and I saw people like me, my online that took off kind of slow. We started off with like one or two people. I just gradually grew, and minimal marketing, a couple posts here and there, a couple ads, but I don't push it too hard. I don't promote it ridiculously hard. There's a level of promotion I do, but I don't buy into the whole ad copy stuff and the long, like, BuzzFeed type articles that bring you people in with clickbait. I try to keep it to a level of, like I say, personal integrity that I have with it.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously we're not all perfect with it. Everybody has their own choice, but yeah, but still I have it sustained at a point now where I'm happy with it. And I brought on people to the team, and we're going to try to grow it even bigger.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I love it.
But different with training and nutrition. Nutrition is like definitely a lot different animal than training. We do some nutrition too. Sarah does that, but it's not really something that is our main focus. For her it is, because she's going to school to be an RD and all that. So yeah. But most of our work is pretty much training.
Now, what do you think of, and this is something we always talk about, and I posted about it maybe a couple months ago. I said the best thing I did in my career early on was get into arguments on the internet. And the best thing I did later on in my career was stop getting into arguments on the internet. And I see it all the time. People just arguing over and over and over.
Well, see, it's funny about that is I know exactly what you mean by that. Right. Because you learn a lot by arguing online about the ins and outs and the X's and O's of the business.
Right.
And people had a chance to, like, see you starting up, like, well, this guy knows his stuff. Let's try him out. After a certain point in time, you get so established that your reputation is growing that arguing online can only hurt you.
Yeah.
Because now you're dealing with people. Most of your people are Gen Pop CrossFitters. Like, I see your client list. Your client list is people that I never would have thought would sign up for a nutrition plan online.
Right.
A guy working in a desk in a computer job who doesn't even lift weights. All he wants to do is just walk.
Right.
You're not dealing with remotely any of the Fit Pro crowd that much. So your crowd is pretty much,
they're sprinkled in, but for the most part, it's just normal people.
Yeah. People don't even have to lift weights. So most of them people aren't going to look at you arguing online and think a good thing of that. They're going to look at you and say, well, this guy is kind of a clown.
Right.
So why do I want to hire him if, he's worried about arguing online about the keto diet and, Taubes and Hahn.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's like, why is this guy fighting on Twitter like a freaking 5-year-old child?
I don't even have a Twitter.
Yeah, I do, unfortunately. It's kind of fun. But yeah, I think for certain people that argue online gets to the point where it's one big echo chamber of circle jerking.
Yep.
It's like only people who really like that are the people already in the circle who are going to like it. They're the ones you constantly see people trying to one-up each other with little witty comments. It's like, don't make fun of a guy, don't make fun of Asprey, and it's like one big pile-on of, like, let's just mock Asprey relentlessly until the thread each reaches like 500 comments of, like, memes and quips and posts. And you read this, and I used to be that same guy. I was that guy for a while. Right. And I realized that it does nothing. It just takes away time. I'm reading it from the outside. I'm like, do people realize how dumb this really looks?
I think Viata said this yesterday on a post. It just brings attention to these guys. So no one would even know who those, the bulletproof guys are and all this if the evidence-based crowd didn't bring light to it.
Yeah, people will know who they are, but the problem is that the people who are going to buy that stuff, chances are they're not going to listen to evidence, really. They're going to listen to sensationalist claims, which is I was talking about with my wife the other day and saying that it's kind of funny that mass-produced fitness is sensational.
Yeah.
Tracy Anderson, stuff like that. People who are making the most money in this business are nowhere near our circle.
No, they don't even know who we are.
No, they're out there. They're God. I mean, take a look at like Melissa Urban and whatever her Hartwig Urban and her whole 30 stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like, she is mass-produced fitness. And I mean, her books are on bestseller lists in the New York Times, or I mean, she's on TV shows. I mean, she's doing stuff with that. I mean, she's traveling the world with this book.
I can't even get through a Facebook update without a typo. You think I'm going to write a book yet? No.
Yeah, stuff like that. I mean, and maybe, her stuff that she does helps people and all that. I mean, people in the business that are our peers will look at that and say, well, it's just weird and kind of stupid. But I don't know if it's really that much of a big deal to me, much like someone like Asprey is. But you look at people like that, I mean, yeah. The only person who was remotely close in our field that is making a major dent in the mainstream is Ben Bruno.
Right. Because he's Kate Upton's trainer, right?
Yeah, he trains models. He trained Chelsea Handler. And I remember Ben when he was an intern in Boston, and when he was born, stuff like that, and watching him go out to LA and being on the Today Show. So, I mean, that's how you make an impact. It's like, how can you get a review online? How can you take your message and reach the next level?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. We had a couple celebrities sign up for our program, and they stopped responding to me because they were just too busy, I guess.
Well, that's what celebrities do. I mean, I know when I signed Periodization, I know Mike was on a couple TV shows too and stuff like that. So I know that people like him are getting out there, but it's just kind of the thing. It's like you have to do it consistently. How can you do it consistently? That's the only way to really beat people like Asprey and Taubes and all them and Food Babe, by overpowering their message with a better message, by not going to go online and share their shit and make fun of it and say, oh my God, we're going to leave comments on the Facebook page to show how cute and smart we are.
Right.
It's like, dude, you're 5 years old.
Do you remember? I remember you getting into it with someone that was like arguing about the Tom Brady diet, and you're like, listen, like he's like, yeah, but we need to bring awareness that this is stupid. And it's like, dude, no one's gonna hear us say it's stupid. Like it's almost a waste of time. Help the people you have. Eventually, the message will spread.
Yeah, because the people that are gonna buy his stuff and listen to his stuff, they're not gonna listen to our stuff right now. They're hell bent on the Tom Brady. They either worship Tom Brady, or they want a nice little. If they're looking at him saying, "Oh my God, he's 40 years old, and he's been in 8 Super Bowls, and he won 5 rings."
Right.
People that believe that his workout helped that to that level, they're probably going to be lost causes.
They're not going to believe what we say. Because these guys have such complicated diets and fitness plans. And if we say like, hey man, just go lift like 3 to 4 days a week and just eat the right amount of the food you want, they're going to be like, no way, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
so
it's
a hard sell.
Look at Tom Brady. It's like, for a quarterback, he doesn't need to lift heavy. He's 40 years old. He doesn't need to lift weights anymore. That workout he probably does is perfect for him. It's probably good for his flexibility, his longevity, his peace of mind, his focus. I mean, stuff like that, you can look at it from a very logical standpoint and realize that we know that what he does isn't really what everybody needs to do. People usually need to move, lift weights, get stronger, build more muscle. However, at him, at the position that he has and the level he is in the world, that workout is just perfect for him. But now he's producing it and mass-produced, and it's been ripped in the New York Times, make fun of it and stuff like that, which is fine. The New York Times, at least the New York Times.
Yeah, I expect them to make fun of Tom Brady.
Yeah, and even still, it's still a big level of readership over, some moderately well-known fitness pro mocking it in Facebook and having his friends jump in on it. I'm like, New York Times mocking it? Yeah, it might get out there, but even still, that workout will sell millions of copies because we live in a day and age that evidence and actual research and stuff like that, and truth and scientific reasoning has gone out the window.
It's just funny to see that like people are arguing to get our point across when we get like 100 likes on a Facebook status. Like, dude, that's nothing. Go on Instagram and watch some of those guys. They get 50,000. You know what I mean? Like those people are bringing awareness to the world.
Yeah, you look at like James Harrison Instagram. You look at the way how many people follow him, and he'll post a video of a workout, and within minutes he got like thousands of likes.
Right.
I'm like, Instagram. I mean, it's the way to go. I mean, honestly, you got people having like 4 to 5 million fans. on Instagram, and I'm like, I just got 3,000. I'm happy.
Yeah, right.
I'm like,
wow.
bro, I made 3,000. I'm like, oh my God, I'm now a high roller.
It's so funny because my barber, he always posts all his stuff on Instagram, and he's like, I saw your Instagram doing it big. You got like 3,000 followers. I was like, that's nothing, man. Like these guys got like 50,000.
They're not 50,000. Oh my God, it's so
It's all
funny.
relative, I guess.
I know it's relative, but it's just kind of funny when you put in perspective the impact that we have over the impact that actual legit people who are famous have. It's like we're so insignificant in the world, and our reach goes as far as we can grab.
Yeah.
Their reach, obviously, there's potential, but you have to have everything lined up just perfectly. Their reach, however, I mean, God, they can just like reach out and their hands are sent around the world. It's
We're getting there, man.
Yeah, you know what? You guys did a pretty good job of it. I mean, you're doing a great job. I mean, I see what you guys are doing. It's impressive.
I kind of want to take over the world, but we got to do it right. Not saying it's going to happen, but
just do not paint the world orange, please. That's a horrible color.
Oh, are you kidding me? It's such a nice, bright, energetic color.
I guess because you live in Orange County, it kind of works. So
that was just a coincidence.
Yeah, sure.
No, I swear to God, I was like, oh, what color will stand out when people are scrolling down a Facebook news feed? That's the color.
Well, it's true though, because red is kind of common. Blue is kind of cliche.
Everyone's got blue.
Yeah, you're like, right, give me orange.
Yeah, it's not even my favorite color. Blue is my favorite color, or purple. Have you seen my door, by the way? That thing is beautiful.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice door. I will say that.
But yeah, man, this whole evidence-based versus experience, like there's a way to make them both work. You should borrow from each other. You shouldn't just think one is better than the other. There's no reason to be like that.
No, and it's like like I said earlier, you see it mostly in the people who are younger. They're not quite sure of their place in the fitness world. So they're trying to latch on to the big names, like Alan, Brad, and all those guys. And they're trying to like follow their coattails, and they're trying to like impress them and say, well, if we go on their status and chime in with a PubMed study, and we're going to maybe somebody will throw us a like.
Right.
Or validate. And I told Alan this to his face, actually, when he's in Kansas City. And I love Alan. He's actually a good friend and a really, really, really good guy.
He owes me money for the Mexican food I bought him when we were there.
Well, good. I'll make sure. No. I'll take a 10% fee and I'll get it out of him for you.
That's great.
But it doesn't matter what you think of me online. It doesn't matter. I'm like, your validation of me means nothing. So they have to realize that just because they're like Alan Aragon approve or one of the big names likes them, that will do jack shit for their business.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It matters what Mary from Ohio who wants to lose 30 pounds thinks. Like that's crap that matters.
And that's stuff that I learned the hard way because I was that way too, where I would sit there and try to network with the biggest and best names, try to like get in their good graces. Hopefully they'll share some of my stuff. And they'll say, well, Jay's a really good trainer, Jay's this. And ultimately it did nothing for me except just give me a self-masturbation feeling of saying, wow, Alan actually likes me.
Right.
And I'm glad Alan likes me because I value his friendship over the networking connections by far.
Yeah.
Like if Alan was just a regular guy in the street who happened to, work a normal job, I'd like him the same. And That's just the way it goes because he's a nice person. He has a good heart.
Yeah, the validation from the peers is always an interesting one. And I want it, maybe it's an insecurity thing, but I don't really care. At first I would like post stuff up and I'd be like, oh, I wonder if this is cool to them or they think I'm an idiot. And now I'm like, I don't give a crap. The people commenting on my posts are our clients. Like, I don't care about those guys. Like, I love them, but it doesn't matter that they approve of what we do or say.
Well, if it comes down to it, people that are paying your bills are the ones who should be singing your praises, which I think is also your level, the way you market is kind of genius in a way too, because you ask your people, it's like, look, just share your progress on your page, talk about us, talk about what you like.
Right. And inspire people. Yeah,
and they do it. So I see one of my old friends is I saw an Instagram feed this morning, Bridget Bacon, power lifter in South Carolina. and we've been friends for years. In fact, when I went through my bicep surgery and I couldn't cook anything for myself the first day, she actually called up some takeout place in Ohio and had them send me some food.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we've been friends like that, obviously for a while. And I saw she hired you guys. And
it's so crazy.
Yeah, I know. I saw Derek Stanley as a coach, and I seen her results because she's been battling with her weight off and on for a while. I remember that. And not like she was, she wanted to be a little leaner. And you look at her picture before and after, and it's like, well, holy shit, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And then I scroll down and scroll on the caption. I'm like, oh, thank you, Derek Stanley and Stronger You. I say, who haven't you guys helped?
Dude, it's crazy. We're almost at about 10,000 members since we started, and we're almost 3 years in. So
that's nuts. Stuff like that, people like that are sharing. They're out there, they're sharing your updates, and her circle is not all lifters. It's going to be people who are. She works in the business world. I forget what she does exactly. I wouldn't say it online anyway, but she works she's like a executive, whatever they call it, for some company. So her connections are going to be different than your or my connections.
Right.
So people that she may work with who just go to the gym casually, that don't go online and read the crap on Facebook and don't read articles and blogs. They go to Self Magazine or go to bodybuilding.com and they find some generic workout plan and they try to follow it. And they have no concept who you and I are. Or they don't even care. And they'll sit there and see her progress and say, wow, you look really good. Who did your diet? And then she'll say, oh, this company's Stronger You. And then that's how the network grows, by getting those people in. So you're doing that job, which should be done by more people. Instead of worrying about our little circle and who we can impress.
Right.
Why do you worry about the people that we can't reach yet? How do you reach them?
Yeah, and that's just my experience of my previous careers in human resources and banking and customer service stuff. Just the thing is if you take care of your people, and Alessi says this, it's like a Warren Buffett quote, take care of your people and you'll have a free sales force for the rest of your life. That's it.
Yeah, and that's one thing that you guys do that I think a lot of companies, and I have kind of tried to take the approach on too, is I worked in, as a bartender for a while and everything like that as well. And I did the various jobs throughout my years. And you work in human resources. Alessi, you work for Amazon. So you guys have a background in dealing with people. I have a background dealing with people as well. So if you're going to be a trainer and you're going to work with people in this kind of setting, your best thing you can do is actually work with people in real life.
Oh, yeah. I'm glad I started there.
Yeah. Doesn't mean just be a trainer in a gym. It means work in sales, work as a waiter, do a bartending job for a little bit. Actually, work with people, do some volunteer work. We have to communicate with people. Somehow learn about communication, how to actually talk, how to listen, how to present yourself in an intelligent format, how to not sound like a clown when you're talking to somebody, how to resolve disputes, how to resolve problems, stuff like that. So you've done that, he's done that, and that's the way to run a business.
Yeah, I'm loving it, man. To me, it's just common sense. You treat people how you think they should be treated. You encourage people to sign up the right way. Don't listen to what I say. Don't worry about my fancy words. What is somebody saying that we've helped? That's all that matters.
Yeah, proof is in the pudding. It's you can say whatever we can say whatever we want to on a Facebook update, but if our clients aren't out there spreading the word, like my one client, Allison Carter,
Mm-hmm.
She brought 3 to 4 new people on board with training and nutrition since she's been on.
It's crazy, right?
And because she's out there telling her friends, and they're like, yeah, this is great. We're going to sign up. And
yeah.
So it isn't me posting online saying, well, we're the shit. Come join us, something like that. It's pretty much people saying, oh yeah, this is working. Who do you use? Oh, I use, Ashman's company, or I use Mike's company or something like that. So go check them out. And then they come on board, that. I think most people know that. I think most people just don't really believe it that well.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I have my way of doing things. Some people think I'm crazy. Some people think it's some kind of secret genius. It's just man, just take care of people. That's it.
Yep, what it comes down
yeah,
to.
Jay.
I mean, treat people fair. Treat people how you want to be treated. Treat them like family. I mean, honestly, make them feel important. And this is one thing that if I would tell any coach out there, any trainer listening to this podcast, any abiding fit pro, if anything I could ever say from this entire 30-some minutes I talked about is that treat your worst client the same you treat your best client.
Right. And your most recent client, like you did when you had one client. Dude, I still get like surprised when someone emails and they're like, "Hey, I want to sign up." And we're getting like 15 a day. And I'm still like, "Wow, like what the heck?"
Oh, it's great. I mean, I've heard of too many people who were like, they kind of star fuck their best clients. So to have somebody who's like a really good exposure type client, like a big bodybuilder or a big fitness guy or a power lifter, and they'll treat them with like kid gloves while neglecting the other clients.
Dude, and those guys don't do crap for business. Like we've had some super high level people and they will tag the shit out of us. They will post about us and they have the least referrals. The most referrals are from honestly, like the woman that had trouble losing weight her whole life finally did it and was so excited she needed to tell all her friends. Those are
and I can see that by the way the page looks by the people who are joining up. It ain't just your regular people. There are people, if you look at their profile, they'll have like one or two mutual friends in common. And it's you and Josh, you and Anthony, or Anthony and somebody else, or you and David, or something like that. So it's like these people don't exist in our world.
No. So
clearly they're signing up because one of their friends are like, "Oh my God, Stronger You is awesome. Go sign up," and they came on board. It's not Joe Blow powerlifter with a 2,000 total, who we bringing on a bunch more lifters, stuff like that. I mean, they're not going to pay your bills. Fit pros aren't going to pay your bills. People who are going to work 9 to 5, we're going to pay your bills.
Yeah, I love it, man. I don't get it, man. I just like I say it a million times. It's not that hard when you actually have good customer service.
No, it's not. I mean, it takes time and it takes a lot of effort and for most people, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some starving. It's going to take, not be able to live comfortably for a while.
Yeah.
And it's going to take that amount of time to do that. But if you do it correctly and you're consistent and you get good results and you don't have any crap under your belt, like a scandal in your past, because obviously that can ruin you in a second. If you do things the right way, you're going to do all right eventually. Just be patient with it because this industry has a very high rate of turnover.
Oh, dude, I feel bad for people because in some of the groups I'm in, like some coaching groups, there's a lot of dreamers. They get a certification and these certifying bodies don't say, "Dude, you're probably not going to make it. Like here's a stepping stone. Now go run with it." And there's no direction after that.
No, it's not. And they don't really understand the business part of it because, I mean, the training part is the easy part.
Right. It's funny to me because like people they'll criticize the CrossFit certification process, but it's like some of the certifications you can do at home with an open book. How is that any different? Like if you're going to criticize, be consistent.
Well, the funny part is they criticize CrossFit, but at least you have to go there and go through the movements and take its actual tests. Now, the NSCA CSCS. It's not an open book test, but it's a book you can read. All you got to do is get the books at home, you study for it, and you go to a center and take a test. You take a test.
Right.
There is no program writing. There's no program design. There's no coaching involved in it. A lot of the book is about facility management. And I just don't laugh because I'm like, this is the certification, the CSCS, that is the gold standard for around the country. So you cannot get a job at a college or university unless you have a CSCS. So I'm thinking this is the certification that anybody could walk in with it, taking the book for like about 6 to 8 months. They can study it in depth. They can learn it like a textbook. And they can walk in off the street and take the exam and be a CSCS certified. So
it's easy.
So you're telling me these people can work with like professional and college athletes. So that's what I mean about evidence versus experience. What do you value more? In my opinion, with something like that, I don't care what certification you have.
Right.
I don't even care if you have a certification at all. I mean, honestly, because I've seen people with, CSCSs and CES and PES, are horrible trainers. And I've seen people who basically have a borderline CPT from some online company they bought like 15 years ago, and they're out there making champions.
Yeah, we require certs, but it's probably like on the list of importance in becoming a stronger you coach. Yeah, legally, right.
Legally, you have to. And insurance reasons, you legally have. You have to have one.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of people think like the cert is the ticket through the door. The cert is probably the last thing I look at. I want to know who the person is. Who the coach is so much more important to me than them passing a stupid test.
I mean, you got to have it. You're probably looking at, are they certified? Yeah, they have it. Cool. What's next?
Yeah, next step. Exactly right.
It's like, that's pretty much what it comes down to. Certification, you're a dime a dozen.
Right.
And I think when people get these, they think, oh my God, I'm going to be a trainer. I'm going to go out and make a ton of money. It's like, well, now you're just starting.
Yeah, that's what I thought, remember? And then I had like 12 people that would work out in my gym, and I was like, I'm done here. I'm going to go on the internet.
To me, I love being in the gym. To me, I'm a gym guy. I love that group coaching aspect. It's like you're on a stage, you're performing, you're the coach, you're looking at you like you're leading them through a workout. And to me, from the old school coach style that I am, that's what I love about coaching.
And it's funny that they listen to you because you're not even jacked. No, I'm kidding.
I know, right? I mean, you're bigger than me. I mean, Christ, I got to start working out more.
But man, I love you, Jay. We got to wrap this thing up. So Jay, if someone wants to get a hold of you, how do they contact you?
Well, the easiest way to do my personal website is ashmanstrength.com. My team website is eliteathletedevelopment.net. That's all one word, eliteathletedevelopment.net. On that team, we have 5 coaches. We have a psychologist on staff, Julie, who's a board-certified behavior analyst. I can't call her a psychologist, but she's a PhD. She's a professor at the University of Minnesota. And awesome. She's absolutely superb with habit formation and mindset. We have me, Chris Bartle, Sarah Konomakos, who's a nutrition person, and we have Ryan Burgess. We have people on staff. We deal with everybody, but we kind of specialize mostly in athletes, strength, and physique transformations.
Right.
Our style is pretty much performance. And obviously, last website you go to, eliteathletedevelopment.net. We've got a couple blogs up there. We've got a few things to look at, but that's how you get a hold of me.
Yeah, man, you guys are great. I love you guys. I love your team. You've been so good to us coming up. So Jay, thank you so much for joining us. Listeners, thank you so much. We love you guys. This is Mike Dola signing out for the Stronger You Radio podcast.
Stronger You Radio is a broadcast wellness production powered by StrongerUFit.com. Content copyright Stronger You. Executive producer Frank Sardella. Thanks for listening to Stronger You Radio. For more information on the podcast, visit StrongerUPodcast.com.